Today I want to talk a little bit about dichotomous keys. Dichotomous keys. In the next lesson, we're going to learn how to identify conifer trees based on their needles or their leaves. And we're going to use a pictorial dichotomous key. In our lab manual, we have the conifer dichotomous key. We also have broadleaf dichotomous keys. They're pictorial. The di stands for two, where we have two options, and then another two options. At each option, we are eliminating something. So typically dichotomous keys have a very general option and a very specific. Are your leaves opposite? Yes, nannyberry. No, everything else. Okay. Are your leaves toothless and have arcuate vein pattern? Yes, dogwood. No, everything else. And every time we're eliminating an option and moving on. With the pictorial ones, it's really nice because we've got these pictures, but most dichotomous keys don't look like that. Most look more like this, where we have a question. Is it with a vulva and very hoop-like remains on the stem base? That's an amanita, which some of you might know is quite a toxic mushroom. If it doesn't have this very specific, then it says without vulva, then we keep going. If it does, it's an amanita, we go to page 16. Okay, so the ones without vulvas, do they have a stem with a ring or a stem without a ring? So 2 and 2, we are having two options. If it does have a stem with a ring, now we have a secondary option. Is it this option or is it this option? Is it Lepiota and Ales, or is it usually in clumps and then it's Amaryllia malaria? So you've got two options again. So maybe it has a ring, then we're going to these keys. If it doesn't have a ring, we're going to move on to the third step. Third test, we're going to see if it exudes white when damaged. If it does, then it's one of the Lactarius possibly, or one of the Mycia. If it doesn't, we're going to keep going. So each step you have two options. Di is Greek for two. Latin bi as in bicycle, but in Greek it's di. So this mushroom book has a lot of species that it's trying to deal with, so that key is quite general, going to genuses. We're looking at species, we're quite specific, very specific species, but the same idea counts where we have two options and we choose one. We eliminate that one and we move on until we get to the one where we're like, yes, it does only have one vein per tooth. And then we're like, okay, so it's an American beech. Awesome. And we don't keep going. Dichotomous keys, a very handy tool to learn how to use. So good luck. I'm going to be using them in the next two labs, teaching you how to ID trees.